I really work hard. I'm kind of a perfectionist. Nada, got it. Z. That is the wrong answer. And in this video, I'm going to share with you how do you answer the question, tell us about your weakness. This single question has the power to determine if you're going to be a potential asset or a liability to the employer. And why is that so? Because this question, as you answer it, it tells a lot. It is quite revealing. You will be surprised how much you're communicating about yourself while you're trying to answer this question. So without further ado, let me share with you how do you answer this question the best way. Welcome to Daniel Mutuku Show, where I help professionals become successful in their career. And if this is your first time here, I would like to ask you, please subscribe to my channel, press the bell button so you can get to know each and every time I release a new video. How do you go ahead and answer the question, tell us about your weakness? First of all, there are two things that you need to be able to understand. There's a difference between a professional weakness and a personal character trait. Most people make the mistake of sharing their character traits as a weakness. The challenge sharing a character trait is that most of the time it is very difficult to change. But when sharing about a professional weakness, it is work in the process. It is something that can be changed or be improved on. Two common mistakes that people do when answering this question. Number one is turning a negative into a positive. Probably you have read this in a book, an article, or had the advice that you should try and turn a negative situation into a positive one. So in this case, you're giving a strength in disguise. And it would be something like, I'm really hardworking, I'm kind of a perfectionist, I really take great care when I'm working or in my work. And the worst of them all is when you say you have no weakness. That is a lie. We are all human beings and we have a weakness. Another mistake is being too candid and going ahead and confessing a weakness that is going to hinder your ability to excel in a role. I had a coaching client who, as we were talking, I asked them what is their weakness, and they told me their weakness was they have a hard time waking up in the morning and most of the time they come in to work late. That is a real weakness. However, the real weakness about this person is that they were too honest and they said something that will actually affect their ability to work. To answer this question effectively, there are two parts to it. The first part, you talk about the weakness. What is the weakness that you want to share with them? Now, as you share the weakness, let it be a professional weakness and put it in context. So the first thing is to create the context and then share with them how you portray or how this weakness shows up. I'll give you an example. You can say something like, when we are nearing a deadline or a date where we need to submit a report or finish a program, I tend to become a little bit impatient and I really am stressed up and put a lot of pressure to my colleagues and my co-workers. Now, you have created the context that when you are approaching a deadline, when you need to submit a certain report, you tend to become impatient. Now, there's a difference between what I have just shared and saying I am very impatient. No, I tend to be impatient, and this is the context that makes me be impatient. The second part of answering this question is to tell them, what are you doing about it? It's not a matter of, this is my weakness, deal with it, you will have to live with it. You need to be able to go ahead and say, what is it that you're doing about it? So part two is a matter of sharing with them, what is it that you're doing about it? Showing them that you're proactive and you're putting in some effort to try and reduce this weakness. And you are always looking forward to improve, and the weakness will not slow you down. In the example I've just shared, it might be something like, now, when we are approaching a deadline, I tend to become very impatient, stressful, and put a lot of pressure on my colleagues, my co-workers, on my teammates. Knowing this, I have been able to learn how to plan in advance and put some minor milestones that will enable me know if we are moving in the right pace so that we can be able to beat the deadline or submit the reports even before the deadline. also sharing it with my team members. They have been very instrumental in bringing it out and bringing it to my awareness when I am really getting anxious and out of shape, when I'm getting the stress. So they're able to point it out and I'm able to rectify that. So with that, you are able to show them that yes, this is a weakness, but there's something that you're doing about it. You're not just comfortable or just resigned to fate that this is a weakness that I have, then you have to deal with it. The next step is to think about how do you choose a good weakness. And what I mean by a good weakness is a weakness that is kind of acceptable in the workplace, a weakness that is fixable, not a very bad weakness that it's hard to fix, and at the same time a weakness that is not going to hinder your ability to perform your role in that specific job. For example, you can't say that you are impatient and you're interviewing for a position of customer support. You can't talk about your weakness is that you're not keen to details and you are looking for a job to be an accountant or in the finance sector. As you are sharing about your weakness, you should be very authentic and try to be concise and neutral. Don't feel as if you need to go really into details as you explain this weakness, and at the same time don't sound so defensive or over negative. Just try to share it in a very neutral way. So here I have some examples that will show you into details how do you answer the question. And the first one is, if delegation is one of your weakness, how would you share this weakness? This is how you can be able to share it in an interview in a very professional way. I think one area I would work on is my delegation skills. I am always so concerned about everything being done right and on time that I can get stuck in the mentality of if you want it done right, do it yourself. Unfortunately, that's not always possible, and I have realized that I can slow things down if I am too controlling. So in that case, you've just shared that is your weakness, the context and how this weakness comes across. But what is it that you're doing about it? You would say something like this. I learned this recently when given the opportunity to manage the department's interns. I had never managed direct reports before, so this was a huge educational experience in many different ways. It definitely taught me how to delegate, and my manager noticed the difference in my management style at the end of the quarter. I know that I can benefit from additional development in this area, so I signed up for a management skills training course, and I am always looking for opportunities to manage projects for our group. You have said the weakness, how it comes up, and what you're doing about it. So definitely you're showing that you are proactive about it. Probably this would not be the best kind of weakness to say when you're applying for a management role, but at an entry level, at a mid level, you are trying to share with them that yes, I have a problem delegating, but I'm already taking some courses to enhance this kind of skills, and probably I'll be ripe for a management position thereafter. Here's another example. If one of your weakness is public speaking, or you really are not comfortable speaking in front of many people, how would we put it in a professional way? Look at this. Honestly, I would say that public speaking is an area that I would work on. I tend to get nervous when asked to present to a large group of people. In small teams, I am the first one to stand up and present, but put me in front of a big group and I can get flustered. That's a weakness. Public speaking. You are not able to speak in front of many people. But what are you doing about it? You can say something like this. I actually spoke to my manager about this, and we set it as one of my development goals for this year. I took an internal presentation skills class and attended some meetings of Toastmasters, a networking group for people who want to practice public speaking. With some practice, I started to feel more confident. Last month, I even volunteered to represent our team to a division-wide town hall. I only had to present for 10 minutes, but I did it and got great feedback. It was actually kind of fun, so I plan to continue to seek out opportunities to improve in this area. Fear of public speaking is a common fear. So you can see in this case, the candidate was able to explain how she really gets terrified speaking in front of people. However, she doesn't have a problem in communication per se, but also went ahead to say what she's doing about it so that she can be able to improve her public speaking skills. There we go. That is how you answer the question. Tell us about your weakness. If there is any interview question that is really giving you a problem on how to answer it, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'll be able to read each and every comment, and I will prepare a video about every question that you post in the comment on how to answer them in an interview. I also want to mention that here at Career Point Solutions, we offer free CV review. Anyone who is looking for a job, it is important for you to have a professional CV that will be able to attract the potential employer to invite you for an interview, so that you can be able to use these skills that I'm sharing in this video on how to answer questions in an interview. So head over to www.careerpoint.co.ke/CV review. Submit your CV. We'll get back to you. We'll give you free feedback on what needs to be done to improve it. And if you want to take us on our professional CV writing service, then we will let you know how we can go about it. And as I finish, I want to say thank you very much for your support. Every time you subscribe to the channel, like a video, leave a comment, you're helping me grow this channel. So go ahead and do that. Share it with your friends. And until next time, as I release another video on how to answer questions in an interview, probably a question that you have left in the comments below, I'll see you then. I'm out.